That was a very nice convoluted intro. I have to be honest with you. I just stopped doing nicotine yesterday. I wasn't smoking, but I was doing nicotine gum and nicotine lozenges. So now, like, my brain just wants something.
I can take the back brace off.
You can do what?
I'll take the brace off.
I'm not sure what that means, but leave it on. I'll tell you, I feel bad for people who've never been addicted to anything, because you're the real losers. You just don't know what it's like to really want something. And get it again and again and again until you're sick and have to stop. That's passion. I have this book that I wrote based on it was from the One Man Show in 2001 that I could read from. Or I could read this other thing that I wrote for another thing. But when I wrote this book, I didn't like my parents, and I accept them now. But when I look back at this book, I consciously wrote them out of the book. This was a memoir about my life that did not include my book. I excised. No, and I thought this was a good idea. This was the dedication in my book to my parents. This book is for my mother, Toby, who claims she did the best she could. And for my father, Barry, whose selfishness propelled me into the darkness. Hey, fuck them. All this business about your parents doing the best they can, they didn't. Don't let them get away with that shit. Just own it. You didn't, you fucked up, and now I gotta live with it. I'm not bitter. I've worked through a lot of this stuff. Okay, so the angle on this book, Jerusalem Syndrome. Jerusalem Syndrome is an actual psychological condition. It's a temporary psychosis that happens to some people. They travel to Israel or the Middle East and they snap and they think they're a messiah or a biblical character or speaking directly to God. So this book is basically based around the idea that not only did I have that when I was in Israel for 2 weeks with my first wife, but I've had it all my life because I'm that special. And I say first wife, there's now been 2, and they're both gone. Again, not bitter. No kids. So don't judge too harshly. The second show, Scorching the Earth, that she mentioned, was that was a one-man show built around the reality that I was getting divorced from this woman who left me. And I thought that was very nice, that the woman who read that first part about being a guy who's been left. It cost me so much fucking money for her to leave me that literally I thought, like, this has to be creative time. So I am going to put a show together fueled by spite and pain that cost me thousands of dollars. And I performed it in New York. I workshopped it in New York, and Time Out New York said the great thing about this show is Maron has no hindsight whatsoever. You feel like he's experiencing these feelings as he's doing the show. And I was. And I knew there was no way I could really repeat it, that it sort of served its purpose. I hope it hurt her. And I feel better. It's so funny that Marcy, I knew Masha in college. She was best friends with my first girlfriend ever, and you show up here, it's so wild. This actually, from this book, this took place right before I met Sarah, that girl. You know what's weird about when you see somebody that you haven't seen in like 25 years, is that the same fucking thing that destroyed my second marriage, destroyed that relationship. And you know, you think you get better. You know, you think like it just goes away. It's sort of the same thinking like, you know, like I'm older now, I should be able to do algebra. You know, like somehow you're, that those things that were beyond you when you were 15 are just magically there. I'm working on the anger problem by not becoming emotionally involved with anyone. That's just, you know, why get, just eradicate the problem. Don't open your heart anymore. Is that sad? All right, all right, so we've got the idea of this book. So this book is really written about a series of phases in my life that I saw, that in retrospect saw as spiritual searches, as religious searches. I haven't read from it in a while. I've never really practiced Judaism. I've never really believed in or had faith in the Jewish God or any God. I never really believed in anything other than self-expression and the deep desire to understand. I didn't think I needed to believe in anything else. Within a month of being at Curry, which was a college, a black sheep from a rich European family named Renee introduced me to the work of the Beats. I began to read them, and I saw a way I can engage all my desires: rebellion, expression, intoxication, the search for answers, and individuality. The gates of heaven opened, and I looked inside. It was surprisingly dark, and all the angels were snapping their fingers to a walking bass line. Finally, something to believe in. I didn't want to be a Jew. I wanted to be a bohemian, a beatnik. Theirs was a religion I could have faith in, and it was a religion. There are the sacred texts. On the Road by Jack Kerouac covers the ritual elements of the religion. Naked Lunch by William Burroughs covers the moral and the metaphysical elements of the religion. And Howl by Allen Ginsberg covers the gay poetry elements of the religion. All religions have a gay poetry element. I urge you to read the Song of Solomon in the Old Testament with a lilt in your voice. You will find that there is definitely a gay man behind that poem. This wasn't as popular to be an out gay poet in the time of King David. There are tenets to the Beat religion. It is a spiritual system built on searching, pushing the limits, embracing life, being awake and wasted to be aware, being beat. Freeing your mind, questioning everything. The path of excess leads to the palace of wisdom. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. To be beat is to be holy, man. And to be holy is to be closer to God. When asked by John Wingate on TV what exactly he was looking for, Jack Kerouac said, quote, "I'm waiting for God to show me his face," unquote. Then he threw up on himself during a commercial.